It didn't really work. Vitinha and João Neves just gave a football lesson to everybody. Obviously, that did naff all, obviously. Right, hello everybody, welcome back to the Golden Sky. I'm Tom. Today it is the player ratings for another disappointing, very deflating 2-0 defeat to PSG. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you in this one. I'm not even mad. I don't feel anything apart from pure apathy, numb to this at this point. I was really angry on the weekend after the City one. I fully expected this one to be worse. The performance was horrendous, but a 2-0 loss, by all accounts, is actually not all that bad. Shocking performance, that said. So I'm absolutely deflated, and I'm going to fly through these tonight because, and I am going to actually try and do that because it's late. I don't want to talk about this team anymore. I hate them. So, that said, here is the lads who played, and here is the Muckery Index, unsullied by sponsorship since its founding. So, the Muckery Index tonight, well, to be honest, there was a few bits and pieces, so let's just quickly talk about these. First of all, Kvaratskhelia has to get booked in the first 2 minutes of the game when he just intentionally pulls Konate back, and we're all calling for a booking. At that point, I wasn't even aware that if he got booked, he'd be banned in the second leg. That would have been fan-dabby-dozy if he'd have been booked, but of course he wasn't. Ariana Grande's dad was refereeing, so he didn't book Kvaratskhelia, and then he did book Gomez for a perfectly legitimate tackle on the edge of our box, so he was having a jolly up. That's always good. And then the penalty shouts, I mean, he gives one that's never a pen. Konate makes a good tackle. It's never a pen. So again, Ariana Grande was having a jolly up. And then he doesn't give one that maybe could have been a pen from Konate. So, yeah, honestly, don't know what's going on there with the referee. But, of course, the Muckery Index tonight was courtesy of our favourites, Fletch and Ali, of course. Back on comms again. I knew they were going to give me something tonight. And sure enough, they did. PSG is chanting a song, and they just start having a little chat about when Ali McCoist met Bonnie Tyler. So tonight, the Muckery Index is Bonnie effing Tyler. Don't know what she's up to these days. Don't know much about Bonnie Tyler, all in all. But there we go. She got a mention. We listened to the Ali and Fletch podcast for about 5 minutes there. I'll just love listening to that when I'm trying to watch my football. That's always good. So, let's get into the players. I'm not going to rant and rave tonight. I'm really not. So if you come here looking for that, I apologise. Go and watch Saturday's ratings for the City game if you want to see that. Tonight, I am just broken again. I am so apathetic to this team. Recording these ratings after each of these games is genuinely one of the biggest slogs I've ever had to do in my entire life at this point. It is not enjoyable at all. So thank you for watching. Any of you who do watch, you make it worthwhile. And Mamardashvili, Marmalade Village, will start in the net. He keeps us in it. I'm sorry, he does make some great saves tonight. The first one, I don't know, can he do anything about it? The ball just loops over his head. I personally don't think he's at fault there. I think he'd have had to grow to like Victor Wembanyama size to be able to get that one out of the goal. Not his fault all in all. I don't want to go for ages tonight, guys. I really don't. So I'm not going to do big monologues on the players, but I thought he made some good saves. Did kick the ball out of play a bunch of times. That's a little bit annoying, and he is a little bit tentative of coming off his line, which is very annoying. So, you know, that is a bit of a problem, but he makes saves tonight, keeps us within an arm's length. Are we within an arm's length? Maybe a giant's arm, something like that. I'm gonna give him a 7 tonight. Mamardashvili. I think he was pretty decent. Frimpong, so we came out tonight with a 3 at the back. Slot pulled this one out his arse, another new system. At least he's trying, I suppose. I can't get onto him for trying something different because we all beg for anything else to change. It didn't really work, but it wasn't disastrous either. Frimpong was a right wing back. I think that suits him, like that's his actual position. But we didn't execute it all that well. I mean, he got forward a few times. He had the one where Wirtz put him in and he was offside. I mean, we didn't have a shot on target in the game, guys, so what do you really want me to say? And they ripped us apart time and time again. Kvaratskhelia was... We'll talk about that in a second when we talk about Konate and more maybe with Gravenberch as well. But Frimpong, like, he's just... I don't know. He's just there on running up and down the wing, and we're not utilising it as good as we maybe could. So yeah, nothing on headband watch. That's always a disappointment. And then he got brought off at the end. Don't know if he's injured. It was a weird fucking sub, that one. We'd take Frimpong if we bring Neoni on. What? I guess we went for at the back for like 2 seconds. Honestly, Slot is doing like the Da Vinci Code in my mind. I can't work it out. I'm just going to give Frimpong a 5. He was there. Konate had a weird game. He was like our playmaker. It was like we had Pirlo at the back, or we expected him to be Pirlo at the back. And you know what? Sometimes he played some pretty good passes. There was one he put through to Wirtz in the second half, and then Wirtz did really, really well. And then Ekitike messed it up. But nonetheless, Konate's role in that was pretty decent. He makes an amazing tackle on Zaire Emery, which the ref, Ariana Grande's dad, gave as a penalty. And then obviously it wasn't a penalty. Then he pushes Nuno Mendes over. That maybe was a penalty. We're lucky to get away with that one. He was charging at one point through the middle of the pitch like a rhino on ketamine or something, and then he just stopped. He should have just carried on going, just barged through the whole of Paris, knocked the Eiffel Tower over in process. He was back at home, wasn't he? So, maybe he felt comfy, I don't know. But he got bullied all night by Kvaratskhelia, who is a nightmare. I mean, he bullies Liverpool. He is like Liverpool Football Club's bully, and he bullies me personally. I feel like every time I see him once a year or not, he just takes my lunch money, scores a great goal against us. He's so annoying, and we should have signed him last January. And the parallel universe that if we'd have signed him instead of PSG last January is frightening to think about. But we didn't, and now he plays for PSG, and he's ripping us to shreds. Konate was all right. To be honest, he was one of our better players, I think, tonight. I'm going to give him a 6. Van Dijk, he seems to have gone a bit mad. Van Dijk. There was a bit from a corner. This is confusing to me. There was a bit from a corner. We had the corner, and he's like yelling at Gravenberch randomly, who was taking the corner, and he's like giving him these instructions. And Gravenberch clearly did not have a clue what was going on. And I'm thinking, have we talked about this before in training? Like, have we discussed what's going to happen here or not? Like, what? I don't even know what was going on. He wasn't great. Well, he didn't really stand out to me. A lot of times in this system, he looked confused as where he should go. We were like man-to-man tonight at times, but we don't win duels ever on the pitch. We're so second best all the time, all over the pitch. And PSG, some of their football tonight was phenomenal. And he was getting pulled all over the place. We take long throw-ins to try and find him. Gomez taking long throw-ins. We're in the Champions League quarterfinals, by the way, playing like Stoke. Genuinely like Stoke. Long balls. Van Dijk's taking our goal kicks like it's Sunday League, throwing the ball long. It is embarrassing. It really, really is. The ball comes into Van Dijk from throw-ins. We never win the header. So what's the point? Like, what are we? How can we be so bad at long throws? We've even got a towel. Like, I can't. I just want to cry. Guys, look what they're doing to me. I just want to cry. Tears, real, actual, genuine tears. I'm going to give Van Dijk... What? I don't know. 5, I guess. Maybe a 4. Let's leave it on a 4. Not very good tonight. This was our best player, Joe Gomez. He was our best player tonight by an absolute country mile. He really was. I mean, by far our best player. And that's not to say he was great either, by the way, but I think he was only one of the ones who had what I would class as a good game, good performance from him, like winning the ball. We kept putting him at left back to take the goal kicks, and when we kicked it long, it went to him instead of Kerkez, and he was actually holding the ball and keeping it. That's about as good as I can expect from us. I genuinely expected us tonight to get absolutely tonked. We did in terms of the performance. I think we had 30% of the ball and not a shot on target. I dread to look at the stats of like XG and all that stuff, shots and that malarkey, but Gomez did his bit. He did some good runs forward. He got booked for the most egregious yellow card I've ever seen in my life. It was a clear, great tackle, got booked. That's sound. And he did his defensive duties pretty well, to be honest. So, for me, I'm not going to waste time again. I'm just going to give him an 8. And we'll go to Kerkez. There were a few times tonight where Kerkez made some decent runs. Like, there was one in the second half in particular where he got the ball down the line. He made a good chop back onto his... I think he chopped onto his right foot again. He crossed the ball in. And, like, there's nobody in the box. Mr. Nobody. Like, there's not a single person. Unless I don't understand how this can be possible. Like, I know we've got Ekitike as our only striker on there, but he's never there, and not like none of our other players ever get there. Are they all just knackered? Like, where are they? And why does Kerkez always cross it to nobody? PSG, that their football is so fluid. Kerkez is like on his own all the time. That PSG executed overlaps tonight perfectly over and over again. Nuno Mendes, Kvaratskhelia, chemistry is amazing. Kerkez comes around the overlap a few times and nobody's using him. Ekitike had one example. Kerkez bombs forward, his haircut's going all over the place like an 80s adult film star. And then ravishing Rick Rude's coming up on the overlap and then it doesn't go to him ever. And it's just like, so frustrating. He gets cramp, he gets brought off. What do you want from me? 5 or 6? I think I'll go 5. We did get ripped apart quite a lot with balls over the top, and I don't really know if he did anything to stop that, to be honest. Just defends constantly with his arms behind his back as well. Like, it's weird. Right, we're making good progress tonight. This is good. Okay, Gravenberch, flipping hellfire. Gravenberch tonight, disaster. Absolute disaster in the middle. And I mean, let's talk about the first goal. Doué chops back, and he honestly, it was like he'd done the most mesmerising skill the world had ever seen because all of our players just vanished from history. And Gravenberch leaves a leg out lazily. Doué has the shot, it clips off his toe, goes perfectly in the air. When you looks out, it's out. The ball goes like a missile straight up in the air. Mortar strikes into the goal like a Predator missile on COD. You've got a 5-kill streak there. Nothing really you can do about that, but I feel like maybe Gravenberch has got to be over there faster. Constantly just watching players as well, like run around him. Doesn't like compete. He's not combative enough for me. And then the second goal is just an absolute disgrace, to be honest. He's looking at Kvaratskhelia, he's watching him, and Kvaratskhelia just runs straight past him. Gravenberch is left clutching at straws, at thin air, just trying to grab it as Kvaratskhelia runs past. He obviously runs in, and then from that point, it was brilliant from Maradona. He just rips us to shreds, but Gravenberch nearly fouls him. Probably would have fouled him if Kvaratskhelia didn't stay on his feet. And it's not good enough. It is just not good enough. He's so poor, and he looks so out of his depth when he's playing against PSG's midfield. Let's put it that way. Very, very clearly a poor performance from him tonight. I'm going to give him a 2. It wasn't totally disastrous, but it wasn't good. And McAllister come out with his new bollock haircut. That was interesting, wasn't it? It had to be done, so at least he was there. I didn't really see him against City because I was watching on the phone. I could see it in HD quality tonight on the TV. Had to be done. No toffee apple haircut anymore. I will have to stop saying that. But still the same old Macker in the middle. He tries his best. He does actually compete. It's more than you can say about Gravenberch today. Like, he's trying to make tackles. He's trying to do stuff. He clearly has... For me, he has more effort and more bite to his game than Gravenberch does, but it's still not enough. He doesn't have the legs, and Vitinha and João Neves just give a football lesson to everybody who's anywhere near them. And Zaire Emery isn't far behind, by the way, as well. But those two in particular, you cannot get the ball off them. They are everywhere. There's like 10 of them on the pitch. They're completely unpressable. They're so calm on the ball. They're all over it, just popping up, moving the ball all the time, so quick. And when I watch our midfield, it just makes me sad. It just really, really drains me to this state that I am now. I'm a shell of the man I was at the time I recorded that Bournemouth game when we won 4-2 on the opening day. They've sucked the life out of me. I'm giving McAllister a 3, and I'm just going to move on again. Tonight's just a sad state of affairs. It really is. I don't have enough in me to rant and rave, and Szoboszlai, he's playing as well, and he's playing number 10 tonight, sort of, as part of this 3-5-2. I still don't understand why we won't just play him number 8. That's his best position. He never, ever plays there. We have this persistence on playing Gravenberch and McAllister all the time. In the middle, when they play, just play Szoboszlai there, please. Not to say tonight, by the way, that he was any good. McAllister at one point did win an obvious free kick. Pacho stands on his foot. It's 20 yards out, 25 yards out. It's a golden chance for us and for Szoboszlai. And Ariana Grande's dad turns away. No foul. Well, just nice one, mate. Cheers for that. Love it, fella. Thank you very, very much. So, Szoboszlai, I didn't really notice him. Did you? Did you notice him tonight? What would you give him? I don't really know. He was so like anonymous to me. Um, and then he got brought off. That never happens. We rested him for Fulham. It's a massive game on the weekend. Champions League is still looming in the Prem. I mean, I don't fancy us. We've lost 4 in a row for the first time away since 2012. I was 10. So let that sink in. 4 for Szoboszlai tonight. Then Wirtz was up front. First off, he was absolutely shocking, just kept giving the ball away over and over again. But I do feel bad for him because when he gets the ball, he looks up, and unless Ekitike's made a run, he's got nobody anywhere near him ever to pass the ball to. He did make the best pass of the game, which was to Frimpong, although he was then offside. That was the only creative pass any of our players played all night. And then second half, he was a little bit better. I mean, he's playing up kind of up front. At least he was in the centre. That's what I will say. At least it was that. I won't complain about him being on the left. At least he was in the centre. But he needs more players around him. He should be playing where Szoboszlai plays, and Szoboszlai should be playing back instead of Gravenberch and McAllister. I can't believe that we're still doing this debate of Wirtz doesn't play number 10 for us. But there we go. And it wouldn't have made a difference anyway tonight, let's be clear. We're so lucky to only be 2-0 down. They should have beat us 5-0 easily. I don't know how they didn't. They were almost lackadaisical against us, and Wirtz tried his best. Second half, he was better. He's the only one who seems to have time on the ball and a bit of composure about his game, but he wasn't great. I'm going to give him a 5. And Ekitike was absolutely awful tonight. I mean, he was absolutely dreadful. So bad. Wasteful every time he got it. Giving it away, hold up, not good enough. Takes too long on the ball. At one point, he had a decent opportunity, like to maybe have a couple of times in the second half, he had an opportunity to shift and get a yard and have a shot. He took one where his pants were literally down below his arse cheeks, full undies out, and not talking undies on the head. God, I've not said undies on the head for ages, have I, guys? I really haven't. That's how sad it's been. My undies have been firmly where they belong, and not on the head. But he had them out for everybody to see, and it didn't help him. And his socks were halfway down his legs. By his ankles. Sorry. Early on, he was knackered, and then he came off. Not good enough. Yeah, I don't know. Really, just not good enough. I don't have anything else to say. I really don't. I'm sorry, guys. I'm at my wit's end with these guys. Tonight, Ekitike gets a 1. He was awful. Okay, subs. Let's rattle through these as well. Isak came on. I counted how many touches of the ball he had. Do you want to have a guess? I'll let you have a guess, all right? I'll give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, 2 touches in 15 minutes. That's good. Not his fault, obviously. So he just gets a 6. Good to see him back. Hopefully he can get some minutes out there and maybe play alongside Ekitike with Wirtz in behind. Is that too much to ask? It probably is, isn't it? Let's be so honest. So 6 for Isak. We'll rattle through these because we brought the subs on, and to be honest, none of them touched the ball because PSG had it for the full 15 minutes. We didn't go anywhere near them towards the end. We were just so lucky not to concede. Hakimi went through. Don't know how Nuno Mendes missed. Dembele hit the post. It was a disaster. They absolutely bossed us, and they're going to boss us at Anfield too. The fact that we think we've got any chance is a bit of a joke. Robertson came on. I think he took a free kick long straight into the keeper's hands. That was about his best contribution. So for that, he gets a 5. Brilliant. Brilliant. That's excellent. Gakpo came on. I was buzzing. Gakpo came on. I thought, oh, here we go. This will sort it right out. Bring Gakpo on with his big stupid red fucking wristband on. This will sort it right out. Obviously that did naff all, obviously. And here I am like a tit in me Liverpool kit as always. I don't think we've won since I've worn this, but I'll keep doing it. Maybe I won't wear it for Fulham. God no. I won't risk it then. But Gakpo, 6. It wasn't his fault. I don't know how many times he touched it. I wasn't counting, but it wasn't very many. Jones was there. Oh, my God, so boring. Honestly, so boring. It's like watching paint dry when Jones comes on. You're not excited one bit. You don't think, oh, good, this is going to be exciting when Jones comes on. I'll just stare at this wall for 20 minutes, and that'll be about the same as watching Jones play. But that said, he wasn't bad either. I'll give him a 6. And then the most confusing sub of all tonight. I have no idea why we brought Trainioni on, but he was there, for 1 minute. What is Slot thinking? I mean, and there's going to be people tonight who want Slot sacked. Let me make this clear. He is not getting sacked after tonight. No chance. He won't get sacked after Fulham either. And he probably won't get sacked after the PSG second leg. I'm sorry to say it, guys. I think he's here to stay till summer at the very minimum. 2-0 isn't embarrassing enough for them to do drastic action tonight. But hopefully I'm wrong. he only gets a 6 as well, of course. And that is a very quick fire. Well, I say very quick fire, it's 20 minutes. A very quick fire edition of the player ratings. Guys, I apologise for not having it in me to rant and rave. And maybe these aren't as exciting as they maybe could have been in another universe. But I can't fake these videos, and I can't fake how I feel. And I don't have it in me all the time to get pent up. And I'm not going to fake it for the YouTube video to come up with reactions that aren't real. I'm so apathetic with this team at the minute, and I'm sure you guys all are as well. But that said, if you did enjoy today's video, please do give it a like. Let's try and get to 35 likes on the video, and click subscribe as well, guys, for chasing 500, which has been the absolute saving grace for me this season, this channel. So thank you very much, everyone watching, listening on the podcast as well. Thank you very much for doing so. These are the player ratings. Oh my god, I guess I'll be back to analyse this one later in the week. Just kill me now. Until then, guys, hope you have a good night, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Goodbye.